How's everyone doing? It's been a minute I posted, but I watched this video the other day. Let me turn on the music for a second. Yes, I watched this video the other day on TikTok. Basically, this grandmother, she wasn't getting along with her daughter-in-law. So and her son, both of them had a child, so she got a grandbaby. But she said she kept on looking at the grandbaby and she couldn't see no resemblance from her, the dad, the grandparents, from both sides. So she had basically had loads of doubts, and she took it upon herself to go get a DNA test done for the so-called grandbaby. Now, when she done the DNA test, she opened it up, of course, she read it, and found out that the so-called grandbaby, her son's child, does not belong to her son. So when I started watching the video at first, I was like, yo, you need to get rid of that woman. You need to get rid of your woman. Then the more I watched it, then it was kind of like, I was thinking, if he knew already that the baby wasn't his, because they got together when the girl was pregnant. So I mean, she cheated while they were still together, and basically when she gave birth to the baby, just said that the baby belonged to the guy. And of course, it's very hard for a man. It's very hard to just walk away from a child that you've been there when the child was born, and raising a child for about 3-4 years, whatever. Then you now walking away finding out the baby is not yours, because the bond is real, isn't it? The bond is real, unless the mother says to you, yeah, I don't want you around my baby no more, then you have no rights, to be honest, because if that baby is not your physical seed, you have no rights. Sometimes you don't even have any rights when the baby is yours, because the place that we live in, like when a woman says this and that to you and you can't see your baby, and you're gonna go everywhere, try your best to make it work, but women always get a final say when it comes to babies. But anyway, back to the topic. So I was while I was listening, the mom was like, I knew it, the baby was not yours, because that grandbaby does not look like anyone. But for me was, how sneaky was the grandmother to go and get a piece of hair from the baby and the child, whatever she did to get both DNAs. For me is, the son said to the mom, you should have spoken to me about this before you done it, because now you're trying to ruin our relationship. But I think both parties were wrong. Personally, she should have told her son that she's going to do it, and still do it, because a mother just knows, feel me? But at the same time, the son shouldn't have told the mom, you're messing up my family. No, because she didn't mess up the family. Sometimes when the truth is hidden and you're living your life, you're living a lie. So they always say, when the truth comes out, everyone comes out. So at the end of the day, the truth had to come out. So it's either now or in future, but the baby is still a baby. But obviously for me, my question now is, as a man, if you're in that man's situation, what would you do? Personally, I will have a discussion with my mother, speaking to her, letting her know that she did cross the boundaries, but I understand why she did it, because she loves me, of course. But if she done the DNA test and the test came up that the baby belonged to the guy, would she have told the son? That's another question. I don't think she would have told the son if it came out that the baby was the son's. But she only said it because, of course, the baby was not the son. Because to be honest, if I was in the mother's shoes, I wouldn't say if the baby was his, because it's only going to create separation, confusion. So, but yeah, so she done what she had to do for her baby boy. Like, you're never too old for mommy to look after you. So she was looking out for her baby, which is understandable, which I respect, But he was wrong for saying, because by the end of that conversation, he ended up telling his mom to leave the house. I don't know why he done that. Why would he tell your mom to leave the house when obviously now and she turned around and said to him, look, I gave birth to a man, and you need to be a man and be a man about the situation and handle it. Stop hiding. Which she was right, because him kicking his mom out of the house does not mean that the situation is resolved. It's not resolved. You still have to deal with it. Now, are you gonna go back home and act like you don't know this information? No, you have to. If you're willing to stay with the woman, well, you need to let her know that you know. It's very hard. It's a difficult situation. It's very hard. So you say, yeah, let me know. What would you do in that situation? What would you do if you was the son? What would you do if you was the mother? Would you have done the DNA test as well? If you was a son, would you argue with your mom that she crossed the line, or would you have just taken it and say, thanks mom for letting me know, I'm gonna deal with it? That's what I would like to know. So yeah, let me know. Thanks, when it's your boy. You know.